You guys can see it's not 33 points. Again, this year I can't make these huge tests worth a huge amount of points because I do have people taking it from home and it takes them a little longer than the people taking it in class. So it's only going to be 33 points. I'm going to skip right down to number 7. 10 out of those 14 questions are going to be multiple choice. Okay, 10 out of 14 are multiple choice. The other 4 are going to be, here's 2 triangles. How do I map one on top of the other, and then why are they congruent? So reflections and translations are rigid motions which preserve distance and angle measure. Thus, therefore, the triangles are congruent. All right, we did a whole day on those, so that's one of the 4 that aren't multiple choice. What else do I have up here I want to talk about? Oh, reflections. You guys could see under part C, reflections, letter C. Find the line of reflection. That is different than what was on your quiz. Remember on your quiz, I think it was point J, and then I had you reflect it over this diagonal line to get J prime. Now on the test, I'll give you J and J prime. What's the line you reflect over? So I want to make sure you guys knew the difference between the two. This is not like the one on your quiz. Anybody remember what the line of reflection is acting as between the 2 points? That's what I'm looking for. Find the equation for the perpendicular bisector. And if you want any reference, I did stick 2 of them on your review. I got it right here. Numbers 18 and 19 on the review. Okay, so if you wanted practice, that's where it is. Translations. Some of you guys, again, look at your quiz. All right, look at your quiz. Some of you guys had a tough time between function versus vector notation. You either mixed them up. For function, you didn't have enough of the function notation to get full credit. Let's see. Invariant, I added a couple this morning. Number 8 here, invariant points. Points that don't move after a transformation. Same versus opposite orientation. Remember, orientation is the direction of the vertices. Okay, do the order of the vertices change after I do a reflection? Yes, they do. That's the opposite. And then just a little heads up, you are going to need the distance formula tomorrow.
What is the distance formula again?
Yep. Yep. You got your square root. Underneath the square root, you subtract your x's. The order doesn't matter. Add that to subtracting your y's. Order doesn't matter. And then just make sure we square it. Last thing you should be doing is taking the square root. Usually, if you're home not taking the test, I have you watch a video on the next day's topic. I am not going to do that this time. All right, I'm not going to start the next unit day 1. 2 reasons behind that. One is, I don't know if anybody watches the news or heard the news yesterday that they canceled all the Regents exams, including the geometry one. All right, there's certain other ones they're going to offer, but geometry is not one of them. So unfortunately, we will not be taking the geometry Regents. We'll be taking a final though, but not the geometry Regents. And also we're way ahead of where we usually are. So there's no need to keep getting ahead and having you guys watch a video. So Friday in class, we're going to start the new unit all together. So you guys coming in tomorrow for the test, I'll have your new packet tomorrow. And then you guys, when you come in on Thursday, I'll have your new packet for you. So you can take the notes on Friday. Yep.
Do we still have to join the meeting?
Tomorrow you do, yeah. Yep. For 1, attendance purposes, and 2, have some time to study. Because that may be, for some of you guys, the only time you study. So, questions on these topics you want me to go over in more detail? I will be after school today, but you can ask now if you want more detail about any of these topics up here.
What does it mean by 2 intersecting lines?
If I reflect over 2 intersecting lines, that's the same as a translation. A rotation. Remember we did, if I have 2 intersecting lines, I think it was the letter C I had you guys rotate. And I'll just do the X and the Y axis. Those are the easiest 2. All right, so here's my line C. Let's say I want it to do this composition, which is is a good review here. How do I complete compositions? Which one do I do first? Reflect over the y-axis. You complete them right to left. So I'm going to take my letter C, reflect it over the y-axis, and then reflect it over the x-axis. Yeah, that looks good. So doing that, how could I have gone from my C in quadrant 1 to C in quadrant 2 using a rotation?
And what was the one for 2 parallel lines then?
Parallel lines is a translation. Yep, that's equivalent to a translation. And then
But we have to name how many degrees the rotation was.
no. Just something like, oh, I just reflected over 2 intersecting lines. That's the same as if I rotated it from the beginning. Anything else, guys, on these topics I have up here? Okay, where can you study and practice? Very simple, in your packet. There's 37 review questions. I am not going to put any extra on Classroom because I think 37 is plenty, and some of them are going to be easy, some of them are going to be difficult. They will challenge you. And then after number 37 in your packet are all the answers to them with the work shown. Okay, so you can just stick right in your packet. Don't worry about any extra problems on Google Classroom. All right. Anything else? Yep, Sophia?
Just in the first question, at least between my packet is like kind of.
3, I think it, let me just check up here. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the hole punched. I think it's a 3. Let me just check. Right over there, off to your right. So that is what you guys are going to be doing for the next 20 minutes of class here. I'll answer your question here in number 1. Number 1, a point C is -3,4. Okay, guys, so this is on you now. Go ahead, use this time. I'll be here. You guys at home, open up your mics if you have a question, please. You don't need to raise your hand. Just open up your mics.